welcome to Aesi Surge. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we will keep on. Yeah, well, do we want to keep on this? This is going to be Mana Crypt, Commander Sphere into Memorial. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. Hopefully, the Magic Gods will treat us well. But yes, welcome to Aesi Surge. We've got some Simic Primal Surge today, and we're playing against a new Simic commander, so this should be a pretty fun little matchup. But yes, this is Aesi Primal Surge. We'll see if we can't get that that wave or that tide going out and to clear the board state out. And I'll see if our opponent wants to get the game started, and once they do, we will jump and do commentary. Okay, there we go. So let's go and lead off with the Forest. Let's go for Mana Crypt. Let's go for Commander Sphere. And that sounds like a pretty good turn. And then once we go for Aesi, that's going to allow us to hopefully start cashing in some card draw. I think that'll work out. So let's see if our opponent's going to scoop up on this one. If not, we're going to power it through. And then anything else past the turn to our opponent. We're playing Aesi. I think that's how you say it. If it's wrong, I do apologize. But that's how it's going to be for the rest of the video. So we will have to make do. Just mark it down on your scorecard. There we go. All right, let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. And then we'll talk about what we're doing with Aesi here in just a second. So let's go and choose Tails on this one. One the flip. We are 1 for 1. And then we hit a Forest. So I guess at this point, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're actually 1 away from going for Aesi. So I think at this point, we'll simply just pass the turn. Playing it's Imoti. Or actually, yes, no, let's cover Aesi first. So we're playing Aesi. You play an additional land on each of your turns. Then whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Playing it's Imoti. I think that's how you say it. Cascade. Spells you cast with converting mana cost 6 or greater have Cascade. So this is a very good deck for us to play against because our opponent wants to get to the late game. We want to get to the late game, and we need to find Primal Surge. So let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. 1 the flip. We're actually 2 for 2 on those. Ooh, and that will be a breathing pool. Just so we have access to double blue, let's go and shock this in, and let's go for Aesi. I like this. All right, so let's go for Scavenger Grounds. That's going to be an extra card draw. Oh, look at this. Yes, we definitely use that ability. Frilled Mystic, and then anything else past the turn over to our opponent. So, but yes, we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you'd like to encounter or experience the Aesi Surge, maybe get sucked out into the ocean, head over to bit.ly/JoltMTG next time you get some cards from TCG Player. You can use my affiliate link. Let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. 1 the flip. But yeah, hey, it's one of the best ways to support the channel, and it costs you nothing. So let's go for Value Town right now. I think that sounds good. Let's go Flooded Strand. That's going to be an extra card draw. We could crack Flooded Strand in response to that to make sure that we don't hit it, but we'll just go for that. So let's go and push in for a 5/5. And that's one of the good things about going for a Primal Surge deck with something like Aesi is that you get that repeated card draw. That's one of the downsides to doing Primal Surge is you just don't have access to that that reliable card draw. So when you get Aesi down and you're making the land drops, ooh, that is good. So let's go for Wasteland. That's going to be an extra card draw. Yes, definitely use that ability. In the Voracious Great Shark, let's go ahead and crack a Flooded Strand. We've got some good stuff in the hand. Let's grab Tropical Island. Oh, look at this. Sound the Simic alarms. This can be Memorial to Genius. So I think we just want to leave up Frilled Mystic and Voracious Great Shark. I think that sounds like a pretty good plan. So anything else will pass the turn. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to play Commander online, they've got you covered. Let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com, yeah, and let's see what this Cascade is going to be. That's going to be Reclamation Sage, and I think... Man, I think we're okay with going for Voracious Great Shark on this. I love this play. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you got a 5-mana counter spell like this. This is great. All right, so let's go and counter Reclamation Sage. And then do we want to... Yeah, we don't have the mana to flash in Frilled Mystic. So there we go. Anything else past the turn. And last but not least, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to check all that stuff out there, and links down in the description below. But if you're keeping score, it is officially free time. So we lost the flip finally on Mana Crypt trigger. And yeah, let's just go for some card draw first. We've got at least looking at 10 combat damage, which is going to be pretty nice. So let's get this card draw. Definitely want to use that ability. And that's going to be Manglehorn with nothing on the battlefield from our opponent. So I think at this point, and our Great Shark, does not have flying. So let's just go and push in with the crew. Yeah, I kind of like this. So swing in with that Great Shark and Aesi. Either way, we're going to be able to come out of this okay. Now, if our opponent wants to go for their commander recast, they certainly can. So I'm just going to swing in with the 5/5. We have a 5/4 coming across. Depending on what we want to go for, we might probably want to leave up Field Mystic. So that's going to be, Commander Sphere, Tropical Island, 1/2. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have up to 6 mana to kind of play with on our second main phase. Might end up going for Yavimaya Elder. We could go for Freyleys, but at this point, there's not really much that we need to do with Freyleys. So we could try to set up that -6 if we want to do that. And while our opponent's, I guess, away from computer, I keep laughing thinking about poor Reclamation Sage is like, all right, we're going to cascade into Reclamation Sage. And then we just have this huge shark that just jumps out and eats the elf. So anyway, that made me laugh. So let's see if our opponent's going to come back. If not, then we may end up scooping this one up here in a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, we gave it about a good minute, and our opponent apparently went away from computer. So, but this is probably the best start you could look for the Aesi. You're going to be able to make your land drops, dig for Primal Surge. Even if you don't hit Primal Surge, I'm just flashing in a 5/4 Shark. Stop Reclamation Sage to set the tone. Sometimes that's all it takes. So anyways, I'll catch you in the next video. All right, bye. Welcome to Aesi Surge. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we will keep on this one. I love it. And also, we're playing against Larabia, which should be pretty good. Pretty fun match. And also, we just tried to start a game, and I had to mulligan down to 4, and they let us. Let me restart. So I just want to say, hey, thank you to our opponent for that. So there we go. But yes, we're going to keep on this one. Love this opening hand. I'm just going to lead off with 4. So let's go for Soul Ring, and then anything else we will pass the turn over to our opponent. If you don't know Larabia, we've played before in the past, and we have some pretty good games. They build some pretty fun decks. We'll see what's in store for us with Rashmi. We're playing Aesi, Tyrant, and then nothing else for 2 now. We're simply just going to go and pass the turn. We're playing Aesi. Aesi Surge, I think that's how you say it. I am major dyslexic, so I wish they would release a pronunciation guide sometimes, because the stuff that my head processes words as, or at least commander names as, it's a little suspect sometimes. So let's lead off with, so we go Scavenger Grounds into Hedron Archive. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. Let's do that. So let's go Hedron Archive. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Get down Hedron Archive, and then anything else past the turn. We're playing Aesi. Whenever you play, you may play an additional lane on each of your turns. Then, whenever a lane enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. Playing against Rashmi, Eternities Crafter. Reveal the first spell. There we go. Get that opt out of the way. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. If it's a spell of lesser converted mana cost, put it into your hand. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you'd like to go out into the Aesi Surge and swim in the ocean, hopefully not get carried away, consider using my bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/JoltMTG. That's going to allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So let's lead off with Thornwood Falls. We're going to gain a life, so there we go. We won. See if our opponent, they do not scoop in response. And then let's go for Crucible of Worlds, 1, 2, and then anything else. Yeah, we'll pass the turn. So we're setting ourselves up for Aesi next turn. We'll see if we can make it through a counter spell. That's the only thing that we're going to have to watch out for. So anything else? I mean, look at this. This is turn 3. This is... this is beautiful. All right, that's going to be Cyclonic Rift on Hedron Archive. Yeah, that's a fair play right there. Anything else past the turn. So also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you'd like to play Commander online, they've got you covered. They have a ton of cards for you to choose from, and their bots will hand deliver it. It's like your own little butler at the local gaming store online. And let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. In fact, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we want to... So we've got some flash options. So we've got Dream Eater and we've got Vincer. I feel like we're walking into a counterspell right now if we go for Hedron Archive, but then we'll still be set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, either way. So let's drop Island. Let's go for Hedron Archive. Let's see if this sticks. And we'll leave up double blue. Maybe represent the counter magic, but I feel like this is going to get hit with the counter spell. So there we go, mana drain. All right, so it's going to give him 4 mana. Anything else? No. We're simply just going to go and pass the turn. So that will allow them to power out Rashmi. We'll see what else we can assemble. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. Go to inkgaming.com/Jolt. It's going to give you 10% off of your order. And you can check out some of my neon playmats over there or any sort of gaming accessories that you may want to check out. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time, and you can sound double. You can check the double sound the Simic alarms on your score sheet. We've got 2 Simic options coming out today. So now, if you've never seen Primal Surge, you know what is Primal Surge. Let's get this this beautiful magic card pulled up, so that way we can read it. And I will do my best to remember to put it into the edit. For today's video. But yeah, exile the top card of your library. If it's a permanent card, you may put it onto the battlefield. If you do, repeat this process. So 10 total mana. So one of the cool things about that is that you end up with like, you just cycle through your deck, use something like Memorial to give everybody haste, whatever that may be, and then just go to town. Now at this point, man, we can go for Aesi. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be us completely tapped out. Then they go for the -1, and that does not sound fun. So let's try to do this. Let's see if they end up cracking Wooded Foothills, and then we can try to drop in Dream Eater. I think that feels like a pretty good line of play. All right, so they do not end up cracking Wooded Foothills. So let's see if they end up going for that with Rashmi. But I do kind of like going for Dream Eater. That's going to allow us to... And let's see what they're casting first before we go for this, because we also do have Venser as the option line of play to kind of go for that counter magic. So let's see what they're rolling out for the turn. But yeah, with Primal Surge, it basically allows you to win the game on the spot. So we've got a couple different ways. We do have Craterhoof in here. I think we do have Thassa's Oracle in here. Pretty sure we do. Let me grab our deck list really quick. Actually, no, we don't. We're just simply going for value play with Aesi. I like that. I built this deck a long time ago. Sorry, I did look at my deck list really quick. And man, do we want to just try to jam this this Dream Eater? I think I kind of like this. Let's go for it. This is going to be 1, 2. This is going to be a good counterspell test because I can see them not wanting to have Dream Eater on the battlefield, especially with Jace just parked over there to 3 loyalty. So let's drop in Dream Eater. And that'll give us the option to go for Aesi. Let's see if we can't fight through some of their counter magic. All right, that's going to be Wasteland. So let's go. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we want to give this a yeah, let's go for it. But we've got to crack the seal. They've got another counter spell, so be it. Probably see this play coming from a mile away, but if we can get this to 6, get the card. Oh, there we go. All right, let's get the card drawn. That's going to be draw an additional card off of Aesi. Yes, definitely going to use that ability. Memorial, let's go and play that card. There we go. That's exactly what we needed to happen. Yes, definitely going to use that ability. That's going to be Misty. Now, do we want to pop one of their lands? We'll see if we want to do that. So anything else, we'll leave it up at this point. We're simply just going to go and pass the turn. Typically with Wasteland, I don't like to use that as a way to win the game. You know, we've got Crucible of Worlds, we've got Wasteland, we could start popping our opponent's lands. You know, we are playing Commander. You know, I kind of want to have some good back and forth. So the Wasteland, Crucible of Worlds line of play, especially with Aesi, it is there. It's just not really something that I tend to go for. You know, let's say our opponent has a ton of mana out there and we're trying to, you know, trim the fat. Yeah, we'll do that. But at this point, I just kind of like leaving this out. But we'll see if we need to end up going for the Wasteland line of play. The other side is we may end up having to do that because if we don't have any other lands to play out of the graveyard, you know, at least we do have Misty that's going to allow us to kind of search for some stuff out. But we'll see. You know, it's very much on the back burner for me to just go for proactive land destruction as a win condition. Ooh. Let me rephrase that. We don't mind going for it now. That's going to be profit accrue fix. So we definitely want to start trimming away some of those lands. We're not going to be super aggressive, but we're going to give it a shot. So let's go for, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 with the land drop. We have no counter magic that we can take advantage of. So let's try to go for Aesi again. I like doing this. Yeah, let's go for it. Now, if they've got counter magic, so be it. It goes back to the command zone. We're going to be able to rebound. We still got Misty. But if we can get this to stick and we can get Misty to go down, then just hitting that 2 card draw is going to be exactly what we need to see. So let's see what this is going to be. All right, opponent's going to go for Dig Through Time. Okay, kind of like this. We'll see what they have in store. They do have 3 mana, so the odds of them finding at least some sort of answer for Aesi is probably pretty strong. But let's let them get this Dig Through Time resolved. And we'll keep our, yeah, like I said, if we're praying to the magic gods, let's see. Okay, now that's going to be, that's going to be Force of Will. So we're not going to be able to stop that. So it's going to send Aesi back to the command zone. The good thing is that if we're still whittling away at their resources, I really do like this. So let's go Wasteland on Botanical Sanctum. We're going to pop that. We simply just want to not go for it every turn, but if we can restrict them on green mana, that might help us out just to kind of go for the rebound. So anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, you know, with the Wasteland, we can try to do this, but I want to have some good back and forth. You know, I try to treat these Commander games like I'd be playing like a, like a friend in Commander. You know, I don't want to completely lock them out of the game, but if we can slow the roll a little bit, try to trip them up, that's what we're going to go for. But yeah, with Primal Surge, you're going to be able to dump everything onto the battlefield. So we're running, I think, like 36 or 37 creatures in here. One of the fun things about a Primal Surge deck is that you have to find creatures or permanents to take the place of instant or sorcery. So, stuff like Ashiok's Erasure, enter the battlefield, exile target spell. This is one of those things that, 4 mana for a counterspell is kind of a lot, but it just kind of gets these different deck building options going for you. And it's just something that it's very interesting trying to basically just assemble. It's like trying to grab a VCR, a DVD player, and stacking them all together into making some sort of entertainment system. But you have all these random, I don't know if the analogy makes any sense, but basically you're just jamming all these pieces that normally don't go together into one deck, and it is very much, it's a sight to see sometimes, so we'll see if we can get to it. But it's always so beautiful if you can find Primal Surge and go for that Primal Surge. Oh man, that is some good magic right there. All right, so let's see what our opponent's going to go for during our upkeep. That's going to be 1-2. I'm interested to see what this is going to be. That's going to be Petty Theft. Return target non-land permanent opponent controls to its... Yeah, that's fine with us. We're actually okay with that. Not going to go for that line of play anyway, and so... Now, if we wanted to, we could go for Venser or Ashiok's Erasure and kind of get rid of that. But I think we are actually okay with that right now. So let's get our commander pop back up, see what we rip into for the turn. And then, ooh, that's going to be Karn. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we go completely tap out for Aesi. They're going to be able to bounce it back with Jays. I think I kind of like going for the -3. So we go 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6 out of the... So we're not going to be able to take advantage of that. So if we end up going Karn, -3, that drops it down to 3. They're definitely going to be able to take care of it. But I kind of like going for the -3 on Profit. Yeah, let's do this. That way, if they have a counterspell, they're definitely going to want to use it on this. And this also kind of clears the way for us to rebound with Aesi once we get Aesi down. So let's see if they've got counter magic for this. All right, let's go Karn. Let's go for the -3 on Profit. Yeah, I like this. So we need to stop that. Them having the benefit of untapping their lands with Prophet of Kruphix is definitely something that we want to stop. So anything else past the turn. Also, it just occurred to me, Prophet of Kruphix is banned. I'm pretty sure it's banned in regular Commander. Let's get this popped up. Yeah, we're playing 1v1 Commander, which is the Wild West of Commander. And it is banned in Commander. So if you're wondering why is Prophet on the battlefield, we're playing 1v1 Commander. Our life totals start at 30. And with Prophet of Kruphix, for some reason, it is unbanned. I'm not really sure sometimes the thought process of some of the cards that they left unbanned in 1v1 Commander when they did everything 2 years ago and haven't made an update since then. So I don't know how to explain why Prophet of Kruphix is in here. I also don't know why Primetime's legal in 1v1 Commander. But hey, if you want to play Prophet and you want to play Primetime, hey, there you go. They're available. But yeah, with Primal Surge, this is one of the fun ways to, even if you are, a Primal Surge deck is definitely a lot of fun for a newer player. Even if you're an enfranchised player, you've played a lot of commander decks. Playing a Primal Surge deck's a lot of fun because it's just so scrappy. Like you have to fight like tooth and nail for everything, every little bit of value. I mean, you have to sequence things, you have to get lucky, you have to get Aesi down, draw cards, and then you still have to get your Primal Surge to stick. So I mean, it's very much like, how are we describing it? I don't know. It's like a puzzle. If that makes sense, it's basically you're trying to put all the pieces to a puzzle together while your opponent's like throwing things at you, attacking you. I mean, it's just a fun way. If you've got Primal Surge hanging around, you've got a lot of good commander cards. Hey, sleeve it up one day. Have some fun with it. So that's going to be 5 cards in the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's going to be just enough for Aesi, and we do have Harbor to make off of the land drop. So yeah, I think at this point we just go Misty and keep our fingers crossed on getting Aesi down. And if we don't, then we might have to shift over to Crucible Worlds game plan. Because we are at 20 with the 5-4 out there. That's pretty hefty sometimes. So let's tap down for Aesi. We're going to pray to the magic. Oh, there we go. Magic Sea Gods. All right, there we go. All right, let's get the lane drop going. That's going to be Harbor. Yes, definitely use that ability. A fetch lane would be... All right, we'll take that. It's even better. Another lane drop. Draw an additional card. Yes, definitely want to do that. And that's going to be Embodiment of Spring. So at this point, with Rashmi on the battlefield, let's just drop in Harbinger of Tides, and then we get rid of... It's going to be a 5-4 over there off Brineborn. I mean, we're eventually going to get to the point where this Merfolk Pirate can take down Aesi, the great sea creature. So I think I kind of like just casting it just straight up. There we go. All right, so we're going to go for Harbinger. We're going to drop in Harbinger. And also what we're going to do is we're going to send, we're going to send that back. If we hit the reset button, we've got a 5-5 that can stop a 2-3. And then, if they do have any counter magic that they were holding on to, this might be something that they'd want to at least stop that. So let's go and send that back to our opponent's hand, send that Cutthroat back. Got ourselves a game right now. Anything else, we will pass the turn. So if we can stick with Aesi, yes, definitely use that ability, send that back, bye-bye. And then anything else past the turn over there. So if we can get Aesi to stick on the battlefield, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. We've got 2 lands in the graveyard that we can play. Misty's going to give us 2 card draw. We do have the Wasteland line of play that we can go for. Like I mentioned, we're not going to go for that unless it's, well, we are at turn 9. So once we get to the late game, if we need to find some sort of way to kind of grind it out, we might end up going for that Wasteland line of play. But of course, we're trying to jam a Primal Surge. Now, against a deck like this, against a, heavy cement counterspell style deck, one of the good things that we do have in here is we do have the, I just forgot what it was. It's the Boseiju. I can't remember the rest of it. And what are they putting on top? They're going to put a Force of Will on top of their library. Okay. All right, so we got Force of Will to watch out for. Like I said, if they don't end up using Jace on Aesi, that's still going to leave us Venser and Ashiok to kind of stop that Force of Will. So we'll see what else is happening. They're going to exile everything out of the graveyard. There we go. That's a pretty heads-up play, with that Scavenger Grounds. It's kind of like, basically, my explanation with Wasteland is I'm just not a huge fan of blowing up our opponent's mana base. Now, when it does get to late game, once we get to turn 10, it's pretty much anything's on the table. And so if they left that out there, then we will probably end up going for it. I don't know how heavy we would. But, I don't know, it's just always fun to have some good back and forth. We're playing Commander, you want to have some fun. It's fun to trade some good punches. If we can trade some good punches back and forth, that's always what I'm looking for. But yeah, as far as some of the utility stuff here in the Aesi deck, one of the cool things about, not having instant or sorceries is we've got a lot of we have Dawn Treader Elk. We have this motley crew of creatures that get us lands on the battlefield to act like Cultivate, 3 Visits, Skyshroud Claims. We have Embodiment of Spring. Oh no, we got Imprison in the Moon. Okay. All right, so we're getting somewhere. That's going to be Miri's Guile coming down. And that's going to be Imprison on the Moon. That's definitely going to be that. One of the good things is we have Venser. So if our opponent does tap out, thinking the coast is cleared, we've got Venser to send Imprison in the Moon back. And that also puts us in a position to where we can leave up Ashiok's Erasure, too. So we might kind of like that. We'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, you get to run some good, goofy stuff like Embodiment of Spring, and also with Embodiment of Spring. It reminds me of my, is this Dragons of Tarkir, I think? Whatever it was. I made my second round pre-release opponent. Okay, let's get our turn going, and I'll tell that story, because, oh man. Talk about fun. All right, so let's go Venser. Yeah, I think I kind of like this. Let's go Venser on Prison in the Moon. And that's going to be double blue. Tap down a Soul Ring. Yeah, we still have access to blue. So let's go Venser. We're going to pop Venser down onto the battlefield. We're going to return in Prison in the Moon back to our opponent's hand. If they want a Force of Will, we do know that's on top of their library. We'll see if they want to stop that. We still have Ashiok's Erasure to kind of get rid of that too. So that's going to be the trigger. Let's go Ashiok's Erasure. That's going to be 1/2. And we can actually tap down Aesi. Yeah, I like that. So we tap down Aesi for the 2 colorless. And then let's go Ashiok's Erasure on Force of Will. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at this stack. This is this is the thing Magic Dreams are made of. All right, so there we go. All right, so we're going to erase Force of Will with Ashiok's Erasure. That's going to be the Rashmi Eternities Crafter trigger. Let's have Venser enter the battlefield. Let's go ahead and send Imprison in the Mood back to our opponent's hand. Now, the only downside is they can go for this again, but we just want to start cashing in card draw. There we go. All right, so we're going to draw an additional card. Yes, always want to do that ability. Ooh, Polluted Delta. So we go Polluted Delta. Let's go ahead and crack Polluted Delta. You can see how important it is to run fetch lanes like this. Let's go ahead and grab Breeding Pool. I think we've got enough creatures to where we can shock this in. We're just like a little bit tight on blue mana, kind of. Definitely use that ability. Steelbane Hydra. Okay. And then that's going to be an additional forest. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 total mana. Yeah, while we've got an untapped Aesi, we need to get into as much value as possible. So we go for that. That's going to be 1, 2. We can pop Soul Ring if we want to. If not, I think we just kind of set up. Yeah, I like this. So we end up going Crucible of Worlds. We crack Waterlogged Grove. We can play that next turn. We have Polluted Delta. Then we have Steelbane Hydra, removing a +1 counter to get rid of Imprison in the Moon. I like that. All right, anything else? Pass the turn. So we're digging through our deck. We're at 74 cards left in our library. So we've got a reasonable chance to hit Primal Surge sometime. At least 1 out of 4 is out of the way. Sorry, I was trying to just do fraction math in my head real quick. My brain just froze really quick. So that's going to be Miri Scout. But yes, my Dragons of Tarkir pre-release opponent. So the Embodiment of Spring reminded me of that. So, you know, if you don't know, I enjoy Sultai. I love playing Sultai. And so when I went to the pre-release, I picked the Sultai pack, and I had double Sultai Ascendancy. So I had this really nice value engine to churn through my deck. You know, if we didn't need it, chunk it into the graveyard, go from there. And so round 1, I tried to build as tight of a Sultai control deck as possible. It was bad. Not good. I lost. Very bad. 0-2 pretty quick. Didn't feel good about it. So, but I also opened up a ton of like 3-color charms. And so and if you don't know, if you're new to Magic, when you go to pre-release, at the pre-release, you can change your deck up if you want to. And so I was like, I'm not feeling Sultai. So I ended up building, I had Crater's Claws, which is the red X, formidable, deal extra damage. So I was like, well, let's just make like 5-color charms with Crater's Claw as the win condition for the deck. And so I did do that. So I did that going into round 2, and my round 2 opponent, their deck was something that, even though it was a limited deck, it was something that you could probably take to a Friday Night Magic. It was an Obzon deck. It was something that you could take to Friday Night Magic and probably still put up like a 2-2 record. Like they had Anafenza, they had the good charms, they had good removal. It's kind of one of those, I'm not like, they just had a finely tuned Obzon deck. I mean, it was beautiful. Like, I didn't understand why they lost round 1. So I think that's why my opponent was a little whatever going into round 2, because they felt that they shouldn't have lost. And rightfully so. The deck that I saw was very good, and they were a very skilled player. All right, so we're going to drop down to 11. And basically, long story short, so I don't forget about our life total, I ended up just doing 5-color Sultai, not Sultai, but 5-color charms, and Crater Clawed for the win to beat them in round 2 with 5-color nonsense, and they had to go sit in their car. they couldn't handle it. All right, so we got Ring of Three Wishes. We don't have enough mana to go for Ring and Primal, but let's go Forest. I think so. How do we want to set this up? So we go Steel. Oh, we should have waited on that land drop. Sorry. This is in story mode. This is gonna be 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 1, 2, X enter the battlefield with X+1 counters on it. So we're just looking at like 2 right now. We'll do 3. All right, there we go. X is going to be 3. Click OK. So let's get Steelbane Hydra on the battlefield. We'll see if they've been able to find another piece of counterspell. If they do, then we'll just try to end up going for Ring of Three Wishes, and that'll allow us to go for Primal Surge, which will work out. So let's go ahead and crack that. Let's go ahead and choose an Imprisonment. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's go Polluted Delta. Yeah, that's a little bit of a misplay on my part, getting that extra land drop. So, but it's late in the game, turn 11. Sometimes that does happen. Let's go and draw a card. That's going to be District Guide. Let's go ahead and crack Polluted Delta. Let's grab Island. That's going to be an additional card draw. So basically, at this point, we're looking for Boseiju, pretty much. Yes, definitely use that ability. That's going to be Commander Sphere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think we need to go Memorial. We have protection from black and red, which is not going to help us, but at least having a flying option, that's going to stop that from happening. So let's get a Chroma's Memorial down. And what we're probably going to do on this one is send at least one creature in at Jace. That way we can stop that Brainstorm ability. Because the Mirrod's Guile, the Brainstorm, any shuffle effect, yeah, that's something that we do want to watch out for. So there we go. We get that down. Let's go ahead and push in. Yeah, let's go for that. All right, so we got, oh, excuse me, they have Vigilance. Duh. It is late in the game. Sorry about that. We could have swung with the entire crew to attack our opponent's life total. For some reason, I know they have Flying, First Strike, Trample Haste, but that Vigilance part always makes me forget. So we'll remember that next turn. So our opponent's going to go for Myriad Landscape, get some extra lands on the battlefield. Yeah, we could have swung with the entire crew. So we will take note of that next turn for sure. Now, if we can get Aesi to stick, we've got District Guide next turn. We've still got the Polluted Delta line of play out of the graveyard. That's going to be Peak. And we'll see if they get off of Rashmi. So it's going to be Peak. And that's a Mana Gorger Hydra. And I know they've gone that, yeah, we'll go ahead and cross it off with Mana Gorger Hydra. There we go. So we'll keep that in line. I'm swinging it for 2 at Jace. Hopefully that should get rid of it. And then if we need to throw Embodiment of Spring in front of one of their creatures, we certainly can. So anything else, we will pass the turn. So they know exactly what we have. We've got Ring of Three Wishes. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we have 15 total mana. So we're looking at a Ring, a Three Wishes cast. That leaves us 10 mana. Then we've got a Ring activation for 5 mana. That still sets us up for potentially going for 7 mana with extra land drops with Aesi. Yeah, we'll see what else we can go for. But at least getting down Ring of Three Wishes, that's going to allow us to find Primal Surge. Because the only way I would feel comfortable going for Primal Surge against Rashmi is at least finding Boseiju. Because that's going to allow us to stop what's happening. Now we did... Oh, no, that's a bummer. Let's see. So that's going to be 8. That's going to be just enough. Oh, good game to our opponent. Yeah, good game. We tried to live the dream of Primal Surge. But hey, I will say this. For a deck with no instant or sorceries, if we're taking Rashmi to turn 11, hey, that's a win in my book. So that's everything back to the hand. They even get Force of Will back. Hey, good game to our opponent. That's what I want to see in Magic. That is, we had a good time right there. So there we go. All right, opponent's going to swing in. That's going to be lethal. Unfortunately, we weren't able to... There's just a lot of times that our opponent was able to just stop Aesi. You know, we were able to get advantage. We were able to get card advantage with Aesi. You can see where we made the land drops. Got that card draw going. You can see where if Aesi was left unchecked, how insane that would have been, just making the land drops. We have Crucible of Worlds. So even if you're not putting hard mode on your commander deck and trying to go for a Primal Surge win condition, simply just getting down Aesi, making a land drop, get that card draw going, that's going to help transition you to the late game with Aesi. So if you're thinking about building Aesi, highly recommend it. If you want to go Primal Surge, go for it. You're going to end up with games like this, but hey, it's fun seeing if you can make it happen sometimes. But anyways, If you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.